Go ahead and turn the music off. Period. Anywho, it has been a while. But hello and welcome to Conversations with Coco. I am your host, Coco. If you're new around here, sometimes I make YouTube videos discussing real important stuff, and sometimes I just be playing around. But I mainly make videos on TikTok. So I don't know if I should just jump right into today's topic, or should I kind of like pussyfoot around the point? I've already decided that we're going to break this up into two parts because I want this part to be dedicated to like the macro, not my ring light behind me. That's how you know I'm not prepared for this shit. The very macro items that we need to discuss, right? Race, ethnicity, nationality, and the differences between those three things. And then for the next part, I kind of want to go kind of into the micro subgroups. And we can lead into that conversation a little bit later in the stream. But yes, today we are going to be defining, right, and describing, because sometimes just a definition is not enough. But we are going to be describing and defining what race is, what ethnicity is, and what nationality is. I've already lost my window with my notes. So we need to start we got to lay the foundation, right? I think because we live in a time period where this has been established and perpetuated for so long that we kind of don't actually reflect on what we are actually dealing with and cognitively, discussing and kind of, mulling these ideas over. So with that being said, I would like to just say that race is a Western European construct. Race does not exist in nature. And when we get into our talk about race, we'll go over that, right? But I really wanted to start off by saying race is used as a classification and was created as a system of classifying people to, divide and conquer, do the us versus them. So I want us to keep that in mind. So I will also like to add, and maybe this should be a part 3, right? Before Western Europeans started colonizing the globe before they really were selling around the globe and like realized there were other groups of people, other land masses around. The other groups of people had been knew about each other, and they had already participated in selling around the globe, sharing in culture and trade and all of that. The difference was we weren't colonizing things. Now, that does not mean there weren't conflicts and there weren't tips between tribes and all of that. However, global colonization is a very recent thing in human history, and that was started by Western Europeans. Race is by their rules because they created it. Race, in and of itself, is racist. I don't think that I should have to explain that further. But I will say, no matter how it's defined, because we all know language, well, some of us know language evolves over time. So how we use a term 20 years ago may not be how we use a term now. However, no matter how you slice it, what words you try to put in the definition, it's a classification made by Western Europeans. Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. Okay. So with that being said, this is how I like to think about race before we get into like the actual definitions that, some other smart person made and put on the internet. But I think about race as go back to 1492 and group together the people of certain land masses. That's what race is, right? The indigenous peoples of Europe. Let's just go to saying things like I don't have, visual aids. You know what I'm saying? So this is a map. This map determines what someone's race is. So we live in a very modern society where people go to different places that they're not native to and they stay there. And they may procreate with someone who is also native to that land that they came from or native to another land that they came from. So, like I said, race is a Western European construct. They created all this. We're going to use their rules. Okay. So, if you are in the gray, you're a penguin. Yes. Shout out to the penguins and polar bears. We love y'all. Big ups. Anywho, moving on. This pink area right here, yes, both of these continents, including the central part of it, you are indigenous American. I'm not going to say American Indian because I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say that. No, Chica, the Pels did not build everything. No, but in the context of race, yes, they built this. So, moving on. This purplish, maroonish color is Asian. And yes, that includes some people in the Middle East and also India. So now this is where things get a little bit blurry, okay? The black, right? Prior to European colonization, there was, we'll say, a Middle Eastern slave trade. Well, we don't have to talk about that right now. But typically, if you're a human indigenous person to this continent, this landmass called Africa, you are black. We're gonna just play by the rules because this is what I'm saying, right? No matter how you define it, right? Because it, according to this, right, Europe, including Russia, and Northern Africa, and some parts of the Middle East are considered and classified as white. If we were playing by the rules and the rules made sense, which I understand, the rules don't make sense. And that's why it's hard. That's why we're here today, because the rules don't make any sense. If we were going by the rules, the original rules, these people would be Black and these people right here would be Asian. Sometimes the rules don't make sense. So we're doing this in two parts. And then over here, Pacific Islander. Okay, these are the big branch race show classifications and groupings. Now, here's where things get a little sticky. Ethnicity, right? Let us move over here. Oh, I have to change the screen again. Hold on. On to ethnicity, right? So, how I like to think about this in context and relation to each other is that race is a grouping together of the different ethnic groups of a particular landmass. So, if we go back to our map here, the people that we think of as Indigenous Americans are not just one group of people. Amongst all of these people in this racial classification are different groups of people and different subgroups of people. So you could be like, you could bring it up to North America, you could be Seminole, right? You could be Cree, you could be Navajo, you could be Mayan, all that. Those are different ethnic groups within the race. Okay. And let me, one of these days, I'm going to get a StreamYard together. I'm going to learn how to use this correctly. And so, this is race and class and ethnicity are usually linked together because, like I said, they group ethnic groups together. So going back to race and that being a racist thing, never mind. I'll say that. I'll leave that for later. So ethnic groups, think of them as culture. So what I have written down is your language, your traditions, clothing, music, instruments, holidays, folklore, mannerisms, games, pastimes, how you have shelter, and how you would decorate your shelter. So within each race are the ethnicities, and stemming from that and furthering the conversation around this being a Western European construct, nationality is basically the borders. What country would you be able to apply for a passport and get a passport? So I want to leave it off at that because when we come back next time, we're going to have examples. Because the big thing that people don't understand or they get kind of confused is that everybody has at least one item in each of those columns. So every person on this globe has a racial classification, has an ethnicity or multiple ethnicities, also multiple races, as well as different nationalities. You can have one, you can have multiple. So that's like someone who is mixed race. Could be they have a monoracially Black father and a monoracially Asian mother. And they were born in Germany, but they also have citizenship in the United States. And they grew up primarily with their mother, who is from a certain area in the Philippines. So that person would be racially mixed or biracial, meaning that they are Asian and they are Black. And depending on what they look like, those things could either be one or the other, which is what we're going to get into next time. Very spicy. And then also their ethnic background could be depending on where their father is from. Say that he's from America and he's African American. So should be ethnically Black and ethnically whatever tribe her mother is from in the Philippines. And then since she was born in Germany and has citizenship in the United States, her nationality would be German and United Statesian. Yeah. But next time we're going to actually talk deeper into how the mixing of the races kind of shaped how people were treated and classified. So instead of it just being Black or white or Asian or Indigenous American, you have things like mulatto, mestizo, etc. And then for the American portion of that, we have terms like quadroon and octoroon. And of course, those things are not used today, but we will talk about that along with the one drop rule and what that rule is, where it came from, and how we apply it today. We also have to have a conversation about white presenting and white passing, and how that is not an exclusively Black thing, and what that actually means for someone's race and someone's ethnicity. Then, we'll have a little pop quiz. I'll bring up some people and we'll discuss whether or not, this person is this race or not. We'll guess their ethnicities and we'll also guess their nationality. But that's the foundation that I wanted to lay before we get into, all those terms and the nuances of race and how that has changed and developed over history and time. But with that being said, that is it for now. It was a short but sweet conversation that was very much needed. And next time we get deeper into the nitty gritty of like the nuances, we'll have more to talk about, right? So put in the comments, what's your race, what's your ethnicity, and what is your nationality? I guess I'll go first. I will say that racially, I am Black. My ancestors are definitely people that were indigenous to Africa, and if you want to be specific, sub-Saharan Africa. I did do my ancestry, so maybe next time. I literally just forgot until just now that I did my ancestry DNA test. So next time we're going to go over my ancestry DNA test so that we can go deeper into, if the transatlantic slave trade had not have happened, what ethnicities could I potentially have been? But currently, I am Black as my race, as my ethnicity. I am Black. We're going to go over that next week too, because we have to have a conversation about how Black is both a racial classification as well as an ethnicity. But for everyone unfamiliar, African American works just fine. And my nationality, I can only get a passport. I have only a passport in the United States. I wish I had other citizenship. Maybe one day in the future, I will be blessed enough to have maybe dual or triple or quadruple citizenship around the globe. Who knows? But, yeah. So let me know in the comments. What are you racially? What is your ethnicity? And what's your nationality? Where are you getting the passports at? Where are you going? But until next time, thank you for coming to this conversation with Coco. You know me, I'm long-winded and usually, but I have plans. So I'll see y'all in the next installment of Conversations with Coco. I'll see y'all later. Bye.